Hello everyone, my name is Lewis Lion, or Osiris the Virus, and I am doing a lore video. I, I made a promise that I would do this, so here I am, doing this. I'll try to be interactive, as interactive as possible, and engaging as possible, while trying to be entertaining about this, but please bear with me. I know not everyone who is on the internet likes or plays Blazblue, but I hope through my video that you will enjoy or come to enjoy Blazblue. I'll just be talking about like the basic stuff, and maybe if enough people, I'm not gonna be an attention whore about it, but maybe if enough people like this video, well, not this video in particular, but the series that I'm going to do, then I'll do more. But for now, I'll just focus on the basics. So, in the beginning, oh god, that was terrible. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. All right. So, in the beginning, there was the Dark War. The Dark War was a very large-scale war between this giant entity known as the Black Beast. The Black Beast, well, nobody knows where it came from. It was just this giant pool of, it was just this giant monster that neither weapons nor, nothing could touch it. Nothing could kill it. It was too big. It couldn't do, you couldn't do anything against it. And it went on a rampage. It went on a rampage for, I think, 50 years? No, it wasn't 50 years. It went on a rampage for a long time. And people were like, oh man, well no, what can we do? We're getting killed. And all people could really do was just run away from it. It was sad. Really sad. Tragic and all that. So, eventually, the Black Beast, it wiped out half of humanity. Like, half of the world was, like, gone. Extinct. Kaput. Like, nada. Bupkis. So, people just spent most of their lives just running from the Black Beast, taking shelter where they could, and just trying to survive. Along with the Black Beast, other races, along with humanity, started to emerge, such as the Beastkin. And if you don't know what a Beastkin is, that's what like Jubei is. A Beastkin is a it's a demi-human, or it's just a sentient being who is an anthropomorphic animal that can talk and think for itself, like sentient life. Like other races, there were other races, other like forms of life, because of all the residue that the Black Beast was leaving behind, called Seether, was being created. I don't know, if you're a Blazblue player and you see all of those animals that are jumping around in the background, including that stupid barking dog from the Bascule level, then yeah, animals like that. Moving on. So, anyways, other races started to appear. Well, I wouldn't say appear per se. They just started coming up because hey, humans are disappearing. And the Black Beast, it had reigned for over, it reigned for over 100 years. And in that time, nobody knew what to do, at all. The Black Beast was really just too strong for anyone to handle. Even the military had considered using nuclear warheads against it, but for some unknown reason, they decided against it. Pretty good for them actually, because if they used a nuke, and it probably wouldn't worked. It would not have worked. Probably in the movie Independence Day, where the aliens just shrugged it off. Anyway, so eventually, the 6 heroes came to form, and the 6 heroes were like a band of heroes, or rather a band of warriors that got together and said, alright, we're gonna pool our efforts to stop the Black Beast. The Black Beast had stopped. It had ceased to move for an entire year. And in that time, the 6 heroes came. The 6 heroes, that was Hakumen, 9 of the 10 sages, Trinity Glassfield, Yuki Terumi, Valkenhayn R. Helsing, and Jubei of the Kaka clan. Yeah, no. He wasn't called Jubei. I'm sorry. He was called Mitsuyoshi. So, in that time, they had pooled their resources, and 9 of the 6 heroes, she had made what is now known as the Nox Nictoris. I mean, that's the localized name. I can't say the... I mean, I guess I could. I just hope they don't take this video down if I do say it. It's called the Causality Weapons. They are special weapons made from both science and magic. And they exist outside of, you know, quote-unquote reason. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. I'll explain that in a later video. So, the 6 heroes, they banded together. They got together. It was like, alright, man, we're gonna stop you. And they got close. It was a really bloody fight. And, like, a quarter of humanity died fighting the Black Beast. But at the end of it all, they won. They won. It was like, yay, the Black Beast has stopped. And all the 6 heroes, they was like, okay, well, we beat the Black Beast. But when the Black Beast had died... When it died, more Seether just exploded from his body and covered most of the world's ecosystems. And now they was just left with like a bunch of Seether, and it was like, oh shit, now what are we gonna do? And luckily, 9 had a plan. And I'll get into that momentarily. So, 9's plan. 9's plan was to make use of the Seether, but before they could make use of the Seether, they had to get the heck out of Dodge, away from the Seether that was spilling out of the Black Beast after it was killed. You see, with so much Seether, animals and humans started dying. They started dying, and they just got tainted, corrupted, turned into monsters. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you guys, I'm pretty sure if any Blazblue player would know what happens to anyone who gets like over tainted with Seether. But it's not pretty. It is not pretty. It is not a pretty sight. Anyway, so they decided to move into the mountains. And no, not like in the monks. They was like, yeah, we're climbing up mountains, bro. We don't want to touch this stuff. Because the Seether, it acted like water, so it was just like floating down at the bottom. So people started to build cities on the mountains. These cities were known as the hierarchical, you know what? I don't care. Like, not everyone could say every freaking word in the dictionary. It's the hierarchical city of, like, they're called the hierarchical cities. Okay? Leave me alone. I don't care if I can't say the freaking word, alright? I'm not a freaking wordsmith. Anyways. So, people started building their cities on mountains to get away from the Seether and its poisoning. But there was so much Seether still around. There was like a shit ton. That's like if your home was built around like a pond of poison and you can't do anything about it. So what can you do? People still needed to survive. However, thanks to 9's plan, well, her plan wasn't really a plan. It was more like a continuation of what she was doing. She developed Ars Magus, which was a spin-off of the Causality Weapons. Ars Magus would take Seether and convert it into energy for other devices. Nobody knows how she did it. They just knew that she was a freaking genius and that they hailed her for it. Like, you know, all hail the 6 heroes and like they're geniuses. Yeah. So, moving on. After Ars Magus technology was developed, they started turning Seether into like electricity, into like cooking stoves, and like they just made so much use of it. It was pretty much heralded as the second Renaissance. where people were like using Ars Magus for everything. They was like using it for this, they were using it for that. Like people were having like a gay old time. Then eventually, problems came. You see, not everyone can use Ars Magus. Not everyone. Not everyone has the talent. And Nine was like, that's okay. Well, that's fine, because she invented a second device which allowed people who didn't have the aptitude to use Ars Magus to use them. These things were called grimoires. I know it's called grimoire by some people, but that's how I say it. Leave me alone. Anyways, she invented the grimoires, and people who didn't have the aptitude to use Ars Magus, they was able to use like household appliances, like cooking stoves and kitchen lights, street lights, stuff like that. And slowly but surely, life kind of flowed. Life continued. Life continued slowly but surely. People were starting to like get back on their feet, and more hierarchical cities were being made. There's a total of 23. I'm not gonna get into all of them because that's a waste of time. I'm sorry. I know that they're important, but talking about them now is pretty stupid, especially since in the beginning only one hierarchical city is important, and that is the 13th hierarchical city of Kagetsuchi. And that's where the Blazblue story really kicks off. And like I said, if people are liking what I'm doing with this video, or with the video, then I'll make a series of it. And I'm trying to be entertaining about it. I really am. And let's see. To sum it up, the purpose of the hierarchical cities is to get away from the seether that's seeping at the bottom, that killed the people that were left over, that couldn't make it up the mountains, and the animals that couldn't make it up the mountains. And that's pretty much it. In the next video, my bad. That slipped my tongue. In the next video, I'll talk about more of the hierarchical cities and how they power themselves. Ars Magus was still newly developing technology, but then they had created more stuff with it, something that a lot of Blazblue players would know. They made cauldrons, and I'll talk more about that if you guys want me to in the next video. I got some time to kill, so I guess I could work on it now, but let me know if you want to see more of what I'm doing. Have a good day.